I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in the debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland smoking, brother, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead, you're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Yeah, come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists see me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a speller with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up and your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like Akhenaten City for my woman in gold. Back fade coming like running people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happened to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections. My complexion, pure black, that's the essence. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love.
I check 1, 2, people like you. Y'all know what's up.
All right.
Just chilling up, bro, man. I was about to get on the road, but I said, let me go and just get it in. Got some time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play this Be Real track off the Starduster album with Albert Jenkins. Check it out.
Life is like a one-way street. Yeah, some may eat, others still trying to get on their feet. We live through what we spit on the beat. We speak life, most who rap about death or decease. Man has confidence in the weapon he keeps. The wrong move, you can put yourself in jeopardy deep. Most men don't prepare for defeat. The word of the day is real, it's like Sesame Street. Sometimes when a man got a message he preaches, I ain't religious, but I listen to the lesson he teaches. They call it fate when our destiny reaches. And most of the time for rappers, it be something that he said through the speakers. And often that'll seal the deal. My legendary commentary on the game like Shaquille O'Neal. Everybody want mass appeal, but don't fake it till you make it just. They stuntin' for the gram and they do it for likes. Social media can ruin your life. Be faking frontin' for some folks you never knew in your life. Look at him now, about to post what he doing tonight. She flew in on a flight from the Philippines. Hairdo sharper than the blade on the guillotine. Reputation like Goliath the Philistine. And she take care of her kids, that's the realest thing. Take care of yourself, they try and kill us, king. I read glyphs, I can tell you what the writing on the pillars mean. We bust moves, cats pump faking, acting like they ready and then they can't make it. I can't take it when cats be fake. I be out like catch me later. On the real, you gotta deal with yourself if no one else. At least be real with yourself. Sometimes you just gotta be real. Ain't no sense in frontin' this. How talking to a psychologist feels. You gotta acknowledge the truth you're trying to conceal. It's how giving an apology feels. Just don't romanticize or fantasize. It is what it is till it's glamorized. Then it seems bigger. You gotta scheme quicker. Forget all that. Just don't let the ill thoughts get with you. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Watch it close like your kid sister. It went down like that, that's how they did you. Shouldn't be real if it's incriminating. The judge and the jury, the lawyers can be intimidating. If their goal is to eliminate you, then it's no mandate to.
Was our lion? I said, hold on. What's up? I said you shouldn't be real if it's incriminating. Was that bad advice? See, this the problem. Cats got their hand on the Bible shit twisted. And the devil can make you put your hand on the Bible. And then to put your life in a precarious situation. But anyway, that ain't what I'm on. How y'all doing? What's up? Shout out to the people this morning. What it do? I got this thing where I got my camera on my desk, but I got my monitors up. And I don't really like, looking at my monitors and seeing that I'm looking at the screen every time that I'm recording. Shout out for saying that's the best advice. Because I said, you shouldn't be real if it's incriminating. The judge, the jury, and lawyers could be intimidating. But if their goal is to eliminate you, then why the fuck you got to be real? I don't know. I'm just keeping them. I mean, that's facts. Shit. But anyway, what's up with Mike Mountain, the Hootie Amen? What's up? What's up with Yurik? I see y'all. How's everybody? About to get ready to get active. I'm up early. I was probably up way before my whole crew, so I was like, let me just chill. I'll be up at like 6 I'll start texting the crew at about 6 or 7 a.m. and cats be looking like, man, this fool is texting me. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see something. All right, that should be cool. I was just looking at my level to look a lot different than I wanted my daughter do something to the microphone or something. Because she be doing her thing. It's a certain way I like my level to hit, and it's coming in a little bit low, but it's good. Go on and check us out on Sonetta TV yesterday. Just a little bit of information. You probably, if you read it in my book, a lot of y'all of us know that stuff already. But we was talking about how they used to eat black mummies. And then when I say black mummies, they like, did they just used to eat mummies? Or did they used to just eat black mummies? And you could do the research for yourself, but if the mummy wasn't black, they wasn't eating it. Now, you thinking the difference between black, the description, and black, a black person of the black culture. No, it just had to be physically black because they thought it had bitumen on it. I mean, they couldn't tell whether it had bitumen on it or not. You feel me? Man, I want to get my level better. Hold on. Mic check. All right, cool. I'm just going to have to rock like that, I guess. Who been messing with my stuff? Yo. All right, cool. We good. It was fun going on Sonetta TV. Here go my book if you ain't got it. Black Like Osiris. By Jonathan Owens. Go and cop that thing. So I just spent some frivolous time this morning when I woke up. Started practicing on a damn video game. Then I'll be getting guilty, like, what does this lead to? And then I just stopped. It was like I might as well stream, come do something. I do got a productive day ahead of me, but I ain't even really tripping. Math Hoffa came back out talking about his next plans. Or did I miss that? So I was in a chapter in my book that we talk about oftentimes called Black Egyptians, Red Nubians. And I was just checking out some of the information. Some of the times I go back and read and see what y'all vetting or whatever. Right? But then I noticed I didn't have the pictures. For some reason, my pictures ain't showing. So a lot of the stuff I wanted to show, not wanted to show, but would like to show, I probably have to defer that to another time. But I do want to see if I can show some stuff. Red Nubians, Black Egyptians. So now I got to see if I can find these primary sources. And I ain't even on that build. I'm just chilling. Got a little bit of time. But anybody got that book, Black Like Osiris? I know a couple of y'all got it. You can just tap in on the chapter called Red Nubians, Black Egyptians. Let me see if I can pull this up. It was something that Ned Neb used to show all the time. In the tomb of Kheruef. In the tomb, Theban tomb 192. But I'm just looking for the particular source that I'll be reading it from. It's called osiris.net. If they not up no more, what happened to osiris.net? Let me see if it's still there. All right. Forget it. It looked like something happened to Osiris. Oh, wait, no, that's me. I'm Googling it wrong. Y'all can find it, but I can't find it right now. So that's going to throw me off. So another thing I was thinking about, yeah, they must have got taken down. This is a wonderful website that had hella sources on Kemet and everything, but I ain't even tripping. So now I'm just on this economy hype right now. And please believe that what Trump is doing with them tariffs is affecting me. To where I'm not panicking, and I know things might change in the next 90 days. But that ain't even my deadline. I got 45 days for things to change. Else I'm going to be facing a situation that I don't even know. You feel me? Like I don't know if I'll be able to execute the business. Because what I was prepared for were 20% duty fees. So let's just think about this. This is just me talking. I'm going to have to pay it, and I'm going to have to pay it in order to go through with it, but it's going to be hard. The reason why is because you make a budget for a project, and you probably wouldn't have even started the project if the price was going to be double what you got in all your projections. You see what I'm saying? Like you say, I'm about to manufacture. This is why the hater game is being ran. But the problem is we don't got an alternative in America. And I'm just using my particular use case in America. I'm an American small businessman being affected by Trump's tariffs. So now thinking, business work on all levels. And normally, the smaller the business, obviously, the less money you got to work with. So if you're doing some international, so all the people who deal with, I'm just using what I know to come up with a synopsis of a situation. What would force a company to ask a manufacturer to provide them service at their minimum order quantity? People like myself who contact these factories and try to get them to produce something at their minimum order quantity, MOQ, right? Now, if I'm doing that, I'm saying a few things. I'm saying I'm broke in so many words. Not broke, but not the key customer that they want really. You still want the people, that's like for people who only understand drug culture, it's like the people who only want 10 sacks all the time. And then you like, damn, you don't want an eighth, you don't want a zip. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You coming for the minimum order quantity, so that means you already got some type of financial holdbacks, right? This is evident because you asking them what's the cheapest you could give it to me for. So if they tell you their minimum order quantity, you probably just barely hopping that hoop. Hopping through that hoop, hopping that hurdle. You see what I'm saying? Now, if a trade war break out, bruh, so if your order at the minimum order quantity is 20 grand, and at first, what you knew from customs, the standard before all this trade war broke out, I knew I was gonna have to pay what I had to pay last time. It's close to like 20%. So as a businessman, I calculated that. But honestly, until Trump got in office and all this stuff started happening, there was no reason to calculate for tariffs. Nobody did that in a quarter right before Trump got in office. You only calculated for the 20%, like Nike didn't do it. Everybody, everything you got on made in China, half of it, right? And so nobody calculated for that. That's not gonna hurt the big wigs, but look how it can hurt a small business. And don't be fooled by what nobody tell you, bro. Like I'm telling you right now, my invoice at the manufacturer has not changed. You can see this shit for yourself when you do it. My invoice at the manufacturer in China is still the same. Before, see what's gonna happen. So basically, the way I do it, you don't have to have a customs broker, but I want insurance from port to port because I'm a fiduciary and this ain't just my bread. I gotta make sure shit happen right as I messed up the issue. And so I'm gonna get a secure customs broker to ensure port to port delivery. Bro, you don't break bread on the tariffs to no Chinese manufacturer. You break bread on the tariffs to the U.S. government. So I gotta pay. Now let's go through just some rough numbers so you can think. I'm thinking small, minimum order quantity. They tell you how many you could get. Say your bill 20,000. You prepare for a 25% that you was already gonna have to pay. So you like, okay, 5 more bands. I gotta have 5 more bands for this 25% when it's about to hit customs. Then this fool Trump come on TV. Bruh, think about that. And just start doing all kind of tariff wars. Now he put the tariffs on China to 145%. So if you was going, now you got to pay more than the dub that it costs to get the product. The product a dub, and you got to pay 100, you damn near got to pay 30,000 to get it out of customs. They still manufactured it for the same first 20,000, and they turned it over to the U.S. Customs. And U.S. Customs is like, you're not getting this out of the port without paying us more than what you paid to produce it. That's wild as hell. So how many prices you just think about to double instantly right in America? All that cheap stuff from China that you know you be using. Come on now. It ain't gonna be no more dollar stores. None of that's made in America. No more Dollar Tree where you can go get your cheap little voodoo bip. 5 and below. Please, that's gonna be dub and below. Dub and below is gonna be the dollar stuff. Dub and below. And then it's gonna be happy. Excuse my language. Never mind. Dub and below. I mean, it is discouraging, but I just gotta come up with some more issue. But I'm gonna pass that off, cut it out. And you're not about to take that L, so everything getting more expensive. Now, what I plan to sell for one price gotta be sold for a different price. And I'm over here as a this is the wilder part about it, bro. Let me tell you how wild this is. These things happen on timetables. Bro, this is the craziness. So this is the game I'm playing right now. Maybe I gotta, I'm just give you some close to the dates, but arbitrary dates. Let's say I got a production schedule that's this factory tell me it's gonna take 60 days. Right? And you see what's going on because the tariffs could change any day on any day. Whatever day your day hit, whatever the tariffs is on that day, unless you sharp, I'm gonna try to work out something with the warehouse. I'm gonna calculate whether the warehouse fees for them housing my product to hold off to see if something changed would be. And if I start accumulating hella warehouse fees, then still have to pay the tariff, now I'm gonna have to pay hella more. So I ain't even gonna sit here and complain and gripe, but I'm just saying, that shit is real. Cats don't think it's real, you tripping. You're gonna go try to buy like something that's you normally used to getting for a certain price and be like, what the hell? I just came to my cheap store. I'm at Harbor Freight. Why is it so expensive? But he making exceptions for computer phones and Apple. Oh, yeah, man. Well, the cold part about that is China turned back around and put their raw earth tariff. I mean, they put you need all this stuff for us to make your phones. We about to put tariffs on that. So that $1,000 phone is not about to be no $1,000. You about to start seeing 1,500 2G phones. Man, go to Best Buys and see if you don't see some. They got a stock and an inventory of stuff that got through the ports before the tariffs. But there's no way around it. If the tariffs is enacted now and things are in manufacture right now, maybe as long as the tariffs stay, is as long as we'll see those elevated prices at whatever time they hit their market because people are manufacturing right now. So I was so happy. I know my timing is really bad and I don't know why this happened to me like this, but I was really happy that my product wasn't ready to be delivered right now. Because if the product was ready to be delivered, I'd be totally washed. You would have been sitting there with the bread that you thought you had to pay, and then found out it just went up 100%. 120% from what you thought you had to pay. That's balls. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? So maybe if you got the philosophy, stop ordering from China, I'm gonna let you know this as a small businessman. America can't even compete with Chinese manufacturing with 100% tariffs on it. What I mean is Chinese manufacturing with 145% tariffs is almost, for this product, for the products that I'm talking about, it's still cheaper than manufacturing in the United States. Right? And so they just gouging the American people. Like they don't have an alternative to fill in. Like, look, buy our cheap stuff. Nope, ain't no alternative. They just saying if you buying that stuff cheap, it ain't cheap no more because we taxing. Which ain't cool. Yeah, Will is right. Will say after we sell out of the stuff we already have, the phones and computers is gonna instantly go up. Yeah, they got some inventory and some stock sitting up right now, so it seemed like I don't see no price changes yet. We just wait. What is his goal really if the raw materials he needs to locally produce are coming from China? Man, how about the Ukraine deal? They literally was trying to shake a nation down for their raw materials right on live TV. That's like, all right, we'll protect y'all. Sign the raw materials deal. Dude, is that American change? That shit crazy. We're not gonna protect y'all nation if y'all don't sign the raw materials deal. I mean, maybe it was always going down like that, but it was probably worded more diplomatically, or I don't know. But that just seemed like the straight up bully shakedown. Like, all right, I'll fight your battle, but I need your lunch money. I need your lunch every day. You can have my lunch, just don't let him beat me up. That's the same thing with Ukraine. And that's the craziness. So I'm not gonna trip. I made plans, and so this is what I wanted to talk about. I mean, too, I got plans. I be having to have a plan, bruh. But the best part about having a plan is executing that motherfucker. Like cats go willy-nilly and fall off on their own plan. You know, I've had plans that I've aborted, and it wasn't, it might have seemed like I didn't finish it. But actually, I thought it through and see what was the value of me finishing this plan that I'm doing that don't look as fruitful as I thought it would be. So I might get a year into something and stop doing it or whatever because it ain't working out. That's not the same as like just being uncalculated and not finishing your goals and your tasks that lead up to executing your plan. And so when I don't got a plan, I might get some anxiety because I'm a father, a leader, a provider, and a CEO. So how you ain't got no plan? That's why you can't really even boss up or topple or do nothing if you don't got a plan. And I know it sounds like I'm working this, but I'm gonna make it hella simple. Man, everybody be having a business plan when they think of an idea, but if you ask them if they have a business plan, they won't have one. Because some of us don't understand what a business plan is. A business plan is so simple. It's actually the initial breakdown to your business plans were in the initial idea when you thought of it. And then normally say, I'ma do this, and then I'ma do that. See, we're not understanding that those statements that we saying to ourselves are not well-worded business plans, but that's something you need to learn how to put into an outline and then give executables and actionable tasks, you know what I'm saying? And execute the mugs in succession and get it popping. And so I'm kind of even talking, don't think I ain't talking to myself, getting juice right now, just cleaning up my brain space so that I can execute. But also, it's like, okay, I can't just be relying. I just was thinking like I can't over rely on this right here. Because Trump got the nation in the situation he got it in. I can't over rely on that. So I gotta, get out there and bust some moves and do something. And so I just been planning and trying to make sure my stuff be realistic so I can get it popping off right. Jeffrey Sachs and Scott Ritter have become YouTube stars. I don't even know who they is. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I ain't even really looked at the market. I know what it's gonna be. I just looked at crypto right now. It said Bitcoin was about 83. The sheriff said the empire is desperate. What's up with you, family? Hope all is well. What's up, Shaz Moo? Pan-African, indigenous? Yeah. Yeah, Trump is back in colonizer mode. It's cool. I don't even know what he on, man. Like, he just trying to change his image. I don't know. He want to go down in history as a crazy dude. Anybody still rooting on think Trump doing good is just blind to the facts. All right. Get ready to get on this freeway in a minute. I can sit here and talk for 2 hours and ride on the freeway for about an hour and a half and still be the first person at the office. Not because of any other reason that I wake up early. Right? But I've been telling y'all what I've been doing and not really showing, but just I made hella progress with the video space. I could start building this stuff right now, but I don't really want to go too far on that. But yeah. My man said, good morning to y'all. Do you feel like the U.S. is losing its grip on being the world's #1 economy? Heck yeah. I feel like irresponsibly, the U.S. is just like a bully loses support. You know how a bully be having the support when everybody intimidated? Certain people get bigger, start hitting the weight, stop getting intimidated. They want to test out their own muscle. Like, man, I think I'll knock him out. That's how China thinking. They done got bigger. They like, man, we're not gonna be punked by the US no more. And what is our problem? First of all, a lot of the white man slander about Chinese people on TV, I don't buy that shit. Like acting like China is the biggest enemy in the world. Shut up. Y'all just always need an enemy to rip people off. Y'all always need this fake ass something threat. Ooh, if we just kept rocking out as America, it ain't gonna be no day where we just see Chinese army on our shores because they just turned into the superpower. Now they just want to take us over. That's all fake fear. And I hate that shit. I be looking at TV, looking at these old ass 60 and 70-year-old white men try to make the world scared about Chinese people and China. Ooh, China gonna take us over. Why they ain't did that shit? Only people be going out in the world. I mean, don't get it twisted. They got their one China theory, so they will go and if it's some people from some Asians close to them, they'll go fight them and say, nah, this is all us. But that is not them going into like, what China do what we scared of? Where they go run up on some people and be like, we taking y'all. Besides they one China rule with their close. I don't even know nothing about the bet. I don't want to be on that. I don't want to speak on nothing where I'm probably weighing in on the wrong side. But you see what I'm saying? I just don't think that the threats that we be forecasting are for the real reason. They're just to keep you scared. It's kind of like the gangsters do with the check-in stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's just dangerous out here. You don't get, we ain't protecting you. Whatever. That's why I don't know what space I'm in hip hop, but all that type of stuff, that's like you create your own demise. Well, the fact that you need to check in and all that stuff mean that you having plans and intentions to go into some of the worst neighborhoods and areas in a city that you ain't even from. All of those mandates is dumb, dog. That's how rappers be gone and dead. And you just really talking to a real OG in this shit right now, whether you know it or not. I'll be hella humble, but cut it out. Like, my word is bond in this hip-hop shit. Don't even get it twisted. Don't even get close to belittling yourself and not even thinking that you're not hearing it from the horse's mouth. That would be a shame. Man, don't you know how, man, come on, man. I love how cats like to forget portions of times in their life and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, time go on, and so now you forget long ass periods in your life when you was like, that was juice and hypey and shit. Cats be just forgetting. They be hella crazy. But it's all good. Have I watched Trap Lore documentary on Big U? Nah, I probably will watch it one time, but that ain't really mine, you know. And the U.S. government recognized Taiwan as part of China as recently as 1979. When it changed, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak on what they got going on there. But I was talking about the threat of China towards the U.S. is exaggerated. I understand the true economic threat, but that economic threat is just us saying that. So let me ask you a question. If we, the number one nation, right? then let's just, I don't know who you're going to call number two. Let's just say China number two, Europe somewhere over there, whatever some one of them nations over there number three, right? When we number one, how bad is number two and number three really doing economically? This mandate to us feel like we got it. What's the reason? Let me just ask y'all, am I being crazy? Why do we have to have the number one economy in the world? Because I'm asking you, if we do have it, and when I go travel to Europe and they don't got the number one economy, shit be over there popping, thriving. So I'm saying, the question was, when we're number one, how bad is number 2, 3, and 4 doing? We don't want to be number 15, but this acting like it's a death-defying fight that I don't know. I ain't on that shit. You just gotta be popping, and all your people gotta be secure. Cause what's the fear? Man, this all living in fear shit. I'm cool. They gonna take us over. Man, please, we got all these guns. Nobody taking nothing, bruh. It'll be we'll all be in the military. All of us, normal people. Not just, imagine somebody tried to take something from us, bruh. You know how crazy all of us gonna go? You don't have paint on our faces. So stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, I'm telling the truth. First, we got the military as our first line of defense. But imagine if the military needed help from the American men. Do you think we ain't going ham? Please, you on some crazy stuff. It'll be people coming out the garage with stuff you never even seen. Like, I've been waiting to use this. Let's go. So all that fear of China is fake. Fake, fake. And I can't understand, like I said, and I'm going to leave this alone. I've traveled the world with the United States being the number one economy. And unless I go to a place that they call a third world nation or something, they be doing fine. Like, go to Canada when America is the number one nation. Canada ain't bummy because we number one. Go to Europe when we're number one. So all this fake, we gotta throw everything at it just to stay number one. That's some old white boy shit. I ain't with that. No. That's because they start cheating and shit. That's why the rules change at a game when they can't be number one no more. Oh, you could jump that high? We need to raise the basket. But anyway, Botswana is not even the top 10, but they're very comfortable. Like, super comfortable. Nothing to be scared of. Or mad. That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad you chose a country that wasn't even in the top 10, right? And still being comfortable and secure. Now, if we were the type of people who had to think about important things like national security, we all know comfortable ain't enough. I'm just saying, I'm with you, Indigenous Africa, we agree. But I'm saying, if we had the task of securing nations, we want our interiors and our people to be comfortable, but we know we got some mechanisms in case some people come running in and doing stuff to us. And a lot of these small army nations, they simply use diplomacy, bro, and agreements, and the world ain't like, stuff break out in places. Don't get it twisted. I'm not even talking about nations. Forget that. Don't make me talk about anything but America. That's not popping with America. Like, oh, Mexican army just gonna all of a sudden come take us over because we slipping. And so that fear of being number one, whatever. I just don't think we need to throw it all at that. I don't even think we number one, really. They just tell ourselves we are. China probably already really beating us on that. I don't know, but I'm just saying. You feel me? What up, Domo? I see you in the building. Showtime. Tall God in the building. Ukraine went ham. What do you mean by that? Ukraine went ham. I don't know about that. I don't know how to interpret it. Yeah, and it depends on one's definition of comfortable. That's true, but I'm not trying to sacrifice any American comfort that we understand or are used to. In my analogy, and I know you know this is true, if America happened to slip to number two, and I don't think little things would change in the economy. Certain prices would change. But as far as security is concerned, I don't think much would change just because we slid from number one to number two in the economy. I could be totally wrong. I'm just an American. I'm not an economist. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's some fear. They want you to be like on some live your life in fear, bro. I took some guns to the pawn shop, not even because I needed the money as much as I was like, man, I got all these guns and I had them since I was like 18. And I ain't even bust none of these at nothing. But targets. I just kept my crucial stock of, because I used to like collect guns. Like, and I just had a lot of guns sitting there. But you know what? That was all from some fear factor that was just placed in my head to make me think that if you got to pick something up, you only got two hands anyway. You can put them all on your back. But if you start busting at that moment, you only going to be using that one. So it's so much fear for stuff. I mean, even I'm not against having a stockpile of food and all that stuff, but the world could start shaking right now, and I could feel regret that I don't have a stockpile of food. But if from when I first heard that I should have a stockpile of food, everything would be spoiled right now. So when I first heard that in my 2020, the world about to end, you need to stockpile food, I'm 50. So I would have every year spent on a stockpile of food that we ain't even used yet. I'm just saying, I ain't saying, no, I'm not a don't be preparedist. I'm not a get caught slipping-ist, right? I'm just simply saying this fear stuff, maybe what we consider preparation ain't even it. You know what I'm saying? Like, preparing for that is stockpiling some food. You stockpile food, I stockpile guns. We'll see who got it cracking when shit fall down. Think about no food. Think about bullets. I'm just gonna have the thing on my back, be like, let me get a sandwich. I'm not even gonna be like, we're taking your meat. No, let me get a sandwich. Y'all see how we pulled up, bro? Y'all throwing out biscuits. Them boys pulled up like this. I'm just thinking Mad Max world collapse. Just let my brain run for a minute. It's just a morning build. We chilling, y'all. Yeah, but I have to keep just my essential, just a handgun, assault rifle, a regular rifle, and I need to go get another shotgun. You know what I'm saying? But all that, like, I'm one of them YouTube people, that stuff dumb. I mean, no, it's not dumb. It's good for you. And maybe one day if I have to come get you to throw me out something, it just wasn't good for me. It was breeded by fear of something happening in this nation that just hadn't happened in my last 30 years. So I started losing confidence in that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when it was a movie I started watching last night. It was supposed to be dystopian type Mad Max, like called 2072. But it started off so slow, I couldn't even really continue watching it. But I mean, hey man, I got a little bit of time. And I ain't even tripping, I'm just chilling. I might open up a Zoom. Right? Just we build, there ain't no particular topic. I know cats gonna want to start doing the meta-netter. I ain't tripping. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, you know, even the fear of death and everything, some people can live their whole life with a fear of death and then not do things in life because of a fear of death. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm not saying live dangerously, come on. But I'm saying there's certain people, it's like we do that a lot. We'll pass on experience that the human can learn how to do, but we won't do them because of a fear of death. Like, you know, just normal shit, like swimming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you go on, fuck. Man, I was trying to take my partner out on some jet skis. I'm like, I don't fuck with that water. And he hit me with, I don't fuck with that water. Bruh, do you know how dumb that sound? I don't care if you sitting in the chat, don't fuck with that water. Blood, let me just say something. What are these 4 elements, dude? Imagine being like, I don't fuck with that air, you know, that air, or that fire. It's cold, I don't really mess with that fire. You gonna start a fire? But cats, on some fear of drowning, be like, I don't really mess with that water. That water? Wow, bro. I be like, this is hella crazy. Who did we turn into as some, you know, all right, the man that was created by all the pressures that we've gone through is a different man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I got my daughters on some learn to swim hella quick, bro. Joey, what's up? I put the wrong screen
What's up, man? What's up?
Chilling, what's up
You hear
with
me?
you?
You know, I meant to tell you, boy, you have like the best back chat in Discord, huh? I meant to tell you that.
Hold on. I gotta get your volume be low. Maybe I got you turned down. Is he low, Shazmo?
It's me.
Nah,
It's me.
I can hear
I talking in my earbuds, so maybe you can't
All
hear
right,
me.
no, I gotta just turn you up. Hold on. What's up with you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I was just telling you have the best back chat, eh?
The best back chat? You talking about the Magi Archers back chat?
Yeah, boy, be popping in there, man.
Yeah, shout out to Sadiq for putting that together. I learned a lot. There's a lot of good scholars in that group, and that is like the place to be.
Yeah, I say so. I tried a couple of others, man, but they ain't measuring up, man.
Word up.
I don't know what they be doing in them other groups. They just be talking. I don't know what they just be talking about. So I jump in and jump out real quick.
Yeah, shout out to you. What's up with Shazmo?
not a doggone thing. Yeah, I just wanted to. You was building on global issues and you know, state of the planet as far as
Was I wrong? Let me just ask that question to you. Was I wrong if we slipped to like just say so happened that we turned on the news and they was like, it just happened today, the US is not the #1 economy. If that happened, what should we expect to change immediately or in a short matter of time after that happens?
All right. So respectfully, let me say this first. So peace to you, Joey, peace to the chat. I was trying not to be the first one to jump in, you know, even though I was, you know, I'm ready to talk some noise. So no, I definitely agree with your assessment on, we slipped to number one or number two or number three from number one, I don't think a whole lot would. But I think this culture of the United States, the way it was even its inception, I think that's just their mindset of if they're not on top, that's the fear. Those are the ones that are in fear because they feel like if they slip to two or three, then the whole world is about to end. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, one
but
thing,
as far as being number two, I mean, I bet. Well, I'm not gonna say that China, and I don't want to filibuster. China's the majority of the people, because I want to address a few things you say. You're talking about we'll all strap up and go out there, but China got a 1 billion-man army.
no, that ain't what I said. I mean, I want to just clarify my statement and I'm going to let you continue. I said if we seen a threat at our shores.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If they was trying to come on American soil, we'd all strap up. If they was sending people over to, that's different. You know what I'm saying? But keep going. You continue.
Word up. So, but yeah, I don't think I want to live in China. Well, I take that back because if I was, middle class Chinese living, they got some, the bullet train. They got a lot of technology over there.
But you just threw that out there. I don't think nothing would. If we slipped to number two, nothing would cause us to have to live in China. I don't get it.
No. I was just looking at. No, you're right. 100%. 2, 3, top 5. I think we would be good. I mean, if you look, matter of fact, pull up the top 5 while I'm going.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but my stomach, I'm about to press. I mean, just go ahead and speak on it if you don't mind.
Okay, so if somebody would, or Joey, if you got time, pull up the top 5 and see who are the top 5.
The chat about to tell us. Come on, chat. Let us know who the top 5 economies is right now.
Economies, power structures, whatever in the world today.
Well, I can say the number 2 is U.S. and then China. Who number 3? India?
I'm not sure.
U.S., China. Can y'all tell us the other 3? We know that's there right there.
Because they got one of the biggest populations and they make money too. Might be Japan, might be in the top 10.
Nah, that can't be after China, not Japan. Somebody putting hands on them. I'm just saying, somebody got to be. India would probably have to be.
Might be Britain. Well, yeah.
I think the people in the chat gonna let us know, but you could continue until we get to there.
For sure. So, reason why I threw out, living in China, if I was middle class up, because there's a lot of people in China. They got a huge population, but a lot of their population live out in the country too, and they live in vats, and as far as how they pay their workers, a lot of their workers don't get paid a lot, the lower class, and they, it's a tough life over there like that.
But hold on though, a lot of that is propaganda. It is the truth, but they also got a cost of living that their wages. I'm not saying their minimum wage, they don't need a minimum wage, and that they can live off those $3 a day they be getting, whoever getting paid like that in a sweatshop. But we also got to consider, like, you could see black people in Taiwan that got apartments that's paying $250 a month.
Right, I saw that. I was checking. I was peeping this young lady. She was, a dude was interviewing her and how she was living in either Taiwan or Vietnam or those places like that, and living comfortably. You know what I mean?
Well, let's ask ourselves. We got American situations, but let's step out of our American situation and still keep our persona. I could imagine myself working for $5 an hour if, I'm talking about in another worldly situation, if my monthly pay, if I only had to come up with $300 a month.
For sure, if your cost of living was way low.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like if I only had to come up with $300 a month and my job was giving $12 a day, well, not a day. Because if you think in America, you like, this is ridiculous. But if you someplace in Taiwan with a fat ass house and you only got to pay $150 of their dollars a month and they giving you, I'm like, man, come on, man. We just thinking about our situations. So I wasn't saying that to discredit what you were saying about the lowest paid economies. I'm just saying we got to take into account the cost of living too.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt. Because my wife was telling me, well, I'm gonna get on that in a second. But when I was looking at that interview of that young lady, of course, she went over there and she was a teacher and she was living, teaching English, and she was living comfortably. But my wife was telling me last night how TikTok is being used to discredit. I ain't gonna say discredit, but it's like some propaganda going on in reverse from China to us, saying that all this stuff that we paying is overpriced, and they putting out information that like these Louis Vuittons and all this different stuff that you are buying at these high priced items are really made in China.
They are made in China. Dude, I'm on top of that game. I discovered that so long that I found factories, and it's public information. You can go find the factory that makes Nikes, right? And then they don't have any contract with the factory. China don't even mess with, excuse my language, China don't even mess with U.S. intellectual property rights. They trying to do away with that altogether and be like, y'all can't own nothing. Like if we make it, so this is what I'm saying. In these factories, only some of the higher priced brands will request that the factory use a material that they actually bring into the factory themselves.
Right.
So if, for instance, if Louis Vuitton wants to make a bag, they're going to choose from selected materials that are at that factory.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And they don't have no way to stop other people from buying those same materials.
Right, because those be the knockoffs, the ones that that they get the other materials. So let me say this. So it's just like you said, Nike has factories in China. They get.
No, they don't.
You just said that China makes
Nikes don't own factories there.
Right.
If I'm saying they go to a Chinese factory.
I understand.
Feel me?
I'm not trying to confuse anybody,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe I said that incorrectly. What I'm saying is Nikes are made in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Nike might have a contract because they get their shoes might cost $10 a shoe to be made, and then they up cost ours. Let's just say Jordans, $200, $300 here in the United States, right? But then you also have Jordans that are made on the side with the knockoff material. I was in that game.
That's so why are you explaining something you really never done? Let me talk, because that's not true. They make it with the same. So this is the thing. Not to cut you too close, but some of what you're saying is true. So I have to take that back.
Right, because they don't fit right. Let me just let you finish and make this one correction.
Go ahead. They make it primarily with the same materials, but then some of the trims might not be the same material. So I just wanted to interject that. You can continue.
Right. So, because the last might not be, the sponginess when you walk with it, the feel of it, it's certain what they call them, imperfections that are in the shoe that those will be like your knockoffs. We're gonna sell those, because I was in that game about 2014, whatever.
But we talking about that's something different. Like you right there too. So the knockoffs that we get that look hella cheap and you can just simply tell, a lot of the time that's not the same exact factory that makes the Nikes. That's somebody trying to duplicate it and they got it off a little bit. My point is, what I was trying to take, and then I'll let you continue, is, well, I don't want to say Nike. I can say for fact New Balance and K-Swiss, because I use their factory. New Balance and K-Swiss, they don't got a factory out there. They hire a particular factory in one section of China, and this factory has the material stored there. Now, say New Balance got an order in place, they got the factory locked down for the time of their production order, but it's not to say that I couldn't come in and say, okay, I need you to run me some of the stuff with the same exact materials ask New Balance and give me that shoe for $10 too. It'll look exactly the same because it's the exact same materials. And I proved that with the Air Max that I made, right? And so
and then you throw a different logo on it, and then boom, you got your shoe and they got their shoe. But I was thinking that it was done where your shoe might cost $2 to make, right, per shoe versus I said Nike, but I'm not trying to
no, you're right. So think about what you just said though. If I say, okay, I want the exact, I'm using New Balance. If I want the exact everything that New Balance is going to cost, my production cost will be the same or a little bit higher than New Balance because I can't get 100,000 of them. I only want 1,000, but it'll be the same quality. Now, if that price is too high, and I'll tell them, change my thread to a 2-point thread instead of a 4-point. I'm just making up terms.
But can I ask you something about that though? You don't think that the American government don't want people to get money like Nike can get money? You don't think that's the reason why they do all this tariffs and all that?
Wait, what you mean?
Like now you could do just like Nike could do, like you just saying. Like you could just throw your own logo on it.
No, that's what the thing is. So here's the thing. Because when I say throw my own logo on it, that only accounts for a style that has already been done. See, shoes are shoes, you know what I mean? And you're not going to come up with too many different styles of them. It'll probably be capped off at about, 10,000 different styles of shoes. And then we'll have to repeat styles. How many different styles could they make? So what I mean is if I didn't make it look like no one else's style, then my logo being on it just mean that shoe was produced by that brand. The same thing is happening when you put because what we learn is just like a jacket, the style of a jacket to have 2 sleeves, a zipper, 2 pockets, and a hood, you can't copyright that. See what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like even the style of a jacket, if you say, okay, well, this jacket, if you take the jacket I got on right now and looked at all of the trimmings they got on it, anyone can reproduce this coat I got on exactly the same way. All you can't do is put the branding of the original style on it as it becomes a counterfeit. But I mean, somebody tried to tell me that wasn't true, and I was like, damn, that's crazy because it is true. You know what I'm saying?
My point being in that is that they don't want regular people like you and I to take money away from them big companies. And I guess the easiest way to throw tariffs on those items that you and I could get cheaper, that these big companies could pay for them tariffs, and we can't.
Well, that is that might be a way of looking at it, but just know that those big companies do not enjoy those tariffs either because it hit them harder. If I'm only getting 1,000 pair, but they getting 100,000 pair, that 20 grand for me is 2 million for them. So now they got 100% tariff where they got to come up with 4 million just to get the shoes through the port.
Right. But I'm saying that, good guy, just to interject, there are barriers to business. When a small business try to come in and make a move, the bigger companies do try to squeeze them sometimes, especially if they feel threatened. And there's things in place to where the prices might be too high because you can't afford it as up and coming, because they got it, listed as, the materials are at this price. So it's hard. You got to generate, you got to get your cash flow up before you can even enter there. Then when you enter there, you might end up losing because of something else that's, another barrier that's in the way. But so you are correct as far as, the monopoly of certain businesses can kind of produce barriers that cause you not to be successful, but you got to keep fighting. But you can low key come in under and do some things and make moves until you get your weight up.
Well, those barriers are often set up. That's what industry and business does. I noticed that when just by the term industry, if you look into the etymology of the term,
Yeah.
but I ain't gonna go there. What they do is they set up certain hoops that you it make it harder for the small businessman to hop through. For instance, the barcoding on the side of the boxes that I'm producing, you have to go through a company. You could go through plenty companies, but in order to be official, you're gonna go through probably GS1 to make sure you got barcoding to where if you don't got this particular type of barcoding, your opportunity to even be distributed by a shoe distributor is almost zero. You know what I'm saying? And so now that's another hoop I gotta hurdle because you gotta get into their little systems in order to be considered an official real businessman. You can produce them without that, but then there ain't gonna be a lot of people who say, "Oh, I can't take your product."
Right. Yeah, you're exactly 100%. Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of different barriers. Getting your what you call it, your even buying your, starting a business, you got to pay for this. You got to, to register your business. You got to pay to be able to sell in the county, to sell in the state. You got all these contracts that licenses you got to pay for. And that becomes, starting off, that becomes a burden. But if you got a good product and you believe in yourself, those are things you just got to keep grinding past until you can, start making profit. And the good thing about it is, I think 2-3 years, you don't have to really generate profit, and then you can write off a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's a lot to it, but it can be done, definitely. I mean, you're doing it, Smash, and a lot of people are doing it. That's probably out here. But yeah, but I didn't want to get off on, but living over there, and if we was 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't think it would be that big of a deal, as long as we stayed up. But like I was saying, I think that this culture just, has this thing about this fear about not being, the dominant ones. And I also think that they feel like if you don't not the dominant ones, then you can't bully others to get their gold and get their, get all the resources. You feel like somebody is going to stiff you, and next thing you know, you end up going lower, not just 2 and 3 and 5. Now you're going, then you start getting bullied down the pipe. You don't want that to happen either. But yeah, you got to have a military. You got to have, but this currency thing. I got
to step out the room for a second. Hold it down for me, y'all.
All right. But I was just saying about this currency thing. I think when it comes to the dollar, because that's really the when it's the top economy, they try to control the currency. So if you got the top currency, but the thing about that, what I was studying is when you got that you want people to borrow your money, and then you're importing a lot of stuff. Because of their borrowing your money, they're using your money, and you're not. But they take your money and build their countries up and pay their people cost of living, and next thing you know, you're in debt. All you do is keep ending up with debt and debt and debt, and that's how our economy is living off a debt economy, and we got to get off of that. And I think Trump is doing.
Nah, I don't. Now we have to get off the debt economy, but I don't know if the system want to get off that debt economy, because at one point Clinton did made it to a surplus, and then what Bush, the son, he got us into another war, then that messed all of that up. So, but they have a good thing because of the dollar is, well respected everywhere and everybody uses it. But they're using the dollar as a war instrument, and I think that's the only bad thing about it.
Right, and that's with all currencies except for this new currency that's on the rise called Bitcoin. And and I'm gonna push that because I'm really been investigating this this thing, and I wish I'd have got into it. We all have been familiarized with it, but I wish I'd have got into it early. But that's the thing about currencies, that these fiat currencies, they're so manipulable that it causes people to lose money because of inflation. You know, when they start printing, your money's not as worth as much. When people get when big corporations or businesses get greedy and they want to, take what you have, or they want to do tariffs, and stuff gets taxed, and they keep
But
taxing.
let's
And
but we
fiat
need the tax.
and your fiat can depreciate over time because of all those influences on it. And then, when that happens, and if it crashed, then now you end up number 2, number 3, number 4. Anyway, somebody else gonna have to jump up and take over. So, but with just to throw in Bitcoin, it's not. There is a slight way to manipulate it. If you hold a lot, you can sell off. You can control the price a little bit, but it doesn't. There's only so many, and it doesn't lose. It's volatile, but it's constantly going up because of the scarcity of it. So it's almost like gold.
I believe that America just need to go back to its gold-backed currency, and then we keep gold in our possession, and keep the dollar as the currency that we use, that everybody use around the world. It's just that we have to back it by something that's stable.
But you
I
got,
get
but you
I
got,
get the concept of a Bitcoin, but it's really the technology, not Bitcoin itself.
but that good.
So
You got to remember, even with gold, they were manipulating. When the king was having those gold coins, and one for one, you trade this gold coin for this food, or this gold coin for this house, and then next thing you know, the king started snipping off a little bit and saying that's a whole. It wasn't a
but
whole.
that's when we have an audit. We don't audit these people no more. So once we order the full knocks, and we audit, our banking institutions to know what they really got, then we would be better as a society to, deal with what we got straight up in front, instead of having this manipulation fiat currency that we have with nothing backing it.
But the thing about it, with audits, all you got to do is pay people off, and they'll say you good. You see, with Bitcoin, it's out there in the open. The contracts are out there, and it's already self-audited. So you know how much is out there. You know who has it. The contracts are out there. It's open and it's limited. So, but I said that just to say, I think right now, if y'all not in Bitcoin, when it drop down, if it drop down to 70 something again, get in there, because it's not going to be too much longer before it goes back up again. It's not too late. I'm just letting y'all know that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Trump. I think the reason why he's doing these tariffs is because he's heavily into crypto, right? He's probably, Ethereum and Bitcoin. Of course, you all know he got his own coin, the official Trump coin. But I think I ain't gonna speak on nobody else's money. But yeah, I think the reason why he crashed the stock market is because he's trying to bring that dollar down, which it is going down. And then other countries, rather, when I say people, other countries can begin to borrow that money again at a cheaper value. And then they say, okay, now it's a risk. The asset is no longer making the money I used to. Now they want to go into riskier assets, which seem to be doing better. And Bitcoin seems to be the asset that is going to make you the most money, not no 7% or 10%. Stock market still doing, it's still over time, long term, will still do well. I think the dollar and the Bitcoin is going to go side by side for a while, and we'll still be number one. But things are going to start transitioning to that Bitcoin currency. Not, you got meme coins, you got all that other stuff, but these utility coins are altcoins. But Bitcoin is king, and that's the main one that seems to be going to be that global currency, other than the yen.
Nah, global currency is always going to be the dollar. It's just that if they keep doing these stupid moves by attacking other countries like Yemen and Gaza and all that, it's just making other institutions, well, other countries looking at us funny. But everybody still use the dollar. Then China's still holding up over $100 billion of 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 our money. So they're not going to stop using it. It's just that.
Well, it's going to take a long time to get to replace that dollar, but it's gradually people are moving away. They want to move away. Africa, they've been cut off. They're moving towards the gold standard. They're dealing with China. They're dealing with Russia.
Right. That's the reason why they killed Gaddafi. But we're not going to deny the fact that everybody's still using the dollar. But it's just that China set things in place for the BRICS nation and other countries to be like, we got a alternative.
Yeah.
So it's up for grabs for right.
Well, I didn't say it's up for grabs. It's just that it's the war right now. Right now it's the trade war. It's the currency war. But I think the reset is a good thing. And hopefully, if this Bitcoin thing works out, our deficit can be paid off in the next 10, 15 years. And we still can come up on top.
So what you imagining Bitcoin going to?
What are you talking about?
Because you're making it seem
Bitcoin gonna pay off the deficit.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro,
Yeah.
you just making stuff up, bro.
Bitcoin bond. Y'all see, watch.
Oh man, you made that up, bro.
I was wrong, but we'll see in the next, I'm going to be around for the next 10, 15 years. And we're going to see this year where Bitcoin goes in 2025. I know it's going to hit I believe it's going to hit another all-time high. I'm pretty sure. I'm 97% sure it's going to hit another all-time high.
What number do you believe that we need it to hit for us to be paying off our deficit is my question.
At that point,
y'all, he just made that up completely. There's nothing about Bitcoin price tied to us paying off our deficit. He just completely made that up.
Okay, watch and see. Watch and see. So,
yeah, I don't know how our economy, how do the fiat dollar ties into how the Bitcoin ties into
I told you he made it up. He just made it up.
All I'm saying is do your research. I don't make things up. Do your research.
All right. Well, give us somewhere to look up what you just said. That when Bitcoin is going to solve national debt.
Okay, Google. Go ahead and let's investigate. Ask ChatGPT. Let's do a deep dive. Not a deep dive, but a surface dive. Ask ChatGPT. Just Google that right now. Share your screen and show us. Show and prove and say, well, is there a possibility that the United States government can use Bitcoin to pay off its national debt? Just Google that.
Okay.
And let's see what comes up. Share your screen so the people can see.
I'm cool.
If you don't mind.
I'm cool.
You cool?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Because I don't understand how do that equate with each other? Like, how do that equal each other? The United States don't own Bitcoin.
No, I mean he's just making it. He's just like so. Now the United States could buy Bitcoin and it has some Bitcoin and it'd be selling Bitcoin, but the national debt is in the trillions, bruh. Like
That's right.
you on some other shit. The national debt is in the trillions. The whole worth of all Bitcoin is 1 trillion. All Bitcoin in the world is about 1.something trillion.
1.4.
So how is that going to solve a $39 trillion debt? They don't own all the Bitcoin in the world.
I don't have we don't own all. We don't need to own all the Bitcoin in the world, but we do have.
That means Bitcoin got to go to a particular number.
I know. That means Bitcoin got to be like a 1,000 trillion.
Not that much.
It would have to be something ridiculous that is not probable.
No, it's going to go easily going to go to $1 million a coin, and then it's going to go $1 million a coin.
Hold on. hold on, $1 million a coin, and you, I that don't make sense.
Okay, you'll see.
Cause it's less than 100,000. How you know? How do you know it's gonna go to 1 million?
Well, what you know is its scarcity is growing, right? Why
But
why gold go from its price dollar for dollar to
Because it's a hard asset that you gotta dig under the ground to go get. That's why.
yeah, but you don't realize that Bitcoin is becoming an asset, not a
Yeah,
utility.
but it's a
Or
digital asset. It's not a hard asset. There's a clear distinction between the two.
yeah, we live in a currency or a power or a energy society.
Hold on. Let's do this for the audience. Do you understand why gold is so much different from Bitcoin? Because of the hard asset aspect of it.
Do I understand? I would participate by opening up our screen, and I mean, I like you say, you cool, I'm cool too. I'm talking on my phone. I'm looking on TV. It's Sunday, but I mean, this is not my stream. But all I say is Google is Bitcoin becoming an asset or is it an asset instead of an index or a utility? Google that and find out what it is or will it be.
man,
But
I ain't trying to hear what you or what Z Man Muff in the chat is talking about. Bitcoin ain't solving the national debt, bruh. It'll have to go way too high, bruh. Like $1 million Bitcoin is not solving no $39 trillion
no,
debt.
billion will not. You're right. And I didn't say it was going to do it tomorrow, right? I didn't say it was going to do it tomorrow. But okay, but I didn't want to I didn't want to keep this not really a Bitcoin I mean it's a free for all Sunday afternoon bill.
Yeah, but I just think it gotta make sense because Bitcoin gotta get to a number, and the American government gotta hold that asset, and everything gotta go properly for your
We can do the
analysis.
math right now. It's easy. Let's just say, I mean, we could just look at it like it's just to show how crazy it is. So let's just look real quick.
Let me just ask that good guy who holds the most Bitcoin in the world right now.
I do not know.
Check out a company used to be called MicroStrategy. Now micro, I guess that means too small. Now check out the company that's named Strategy.
Is it an American-based company or is it American-based?
American company.
Right. So is it the part of the government or is it an independent company like
So
somebody?
you see, look, y'all can see this right here. Is it an independent company or the government?
It's an independent company, but
it ain't the government. So that independent company gonna pay the debt, national debt off when they get all the money from Bitcoin going up. So let's look at this. Bitcoin at 1.6 trillion, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all the Bitcoin in the world, not the amount that the government owns. That's all of the Bitcoin in the world is worth 1.6 trillion.
Right now.
Yep, right now. Our national debt is, somebody put in the chat, they said 39 trillion. I don't know what that number, I'm just going off that number from the chat.
That's about right.
All right. Now, even if, let's just say the United States owned all the Bitcoin in the world, right?
Hold real quick. Let me throw this in. Suppose it 100x. Then where we at?
We about to go through that.
Okay.
But we about to see. Now, suppose all of this Bitcoin, was owned by the U.S. government, they would own 1.6 and they'd be trying to get to 39. So it wouldn't have to 1x. It would just have to 39 times, right?
Right.
But
we're not.
So hold on, we about to do the math real quick. Go ahead, and I'm gonna pull up a calculator.
But we're never going to own all of it.
But hold on, we know that, and so you the one who's saying the most preposterous thing based on them owning
scenario to work.
84. So Bitcoin is 84,148, right?
Right.
Times 39.
No.
Yes.
Well, it have
You
no,
said it's gonna go up 39 times.
we don't. No. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. See what that number is. That's what we're saying. You know, if it went up
So
39.
Bitcoin would have to be 3 million for one Bitcoin.
Right.
It would have to be 3,200,000, which is possible for all of the market cap of Bitcoin to get to. Now, somebody can tell me where we messed up in the math. 39. If the price go up 39 times, it's times 39.
Right. That's just a 39x. Right.
Oh, but it wouldn't even need a 39x because it's at 1.6. That's if it was at 1. You see what I'm saying? It would probably need something smaller, like to go up 30x or,
Right.
you feel me?
Yep.
Now, I'm not going to say in my life that I don't think that one Bitcoin could go to 3 million. Yeah, I would get, if that's what you're basing it off, that's a probability. But for somebody to pay off a bill that's 39 trillion, they'd have to own all the Bitcoin.
Right. So we only own Google how much the United States, we own about 200, I think it's 200 million Bitcoin.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think so.
Let me see.
I know it's a 200 number. I don't know if it's a million or if it's 200,000. I think we own 200. And then MicroStrategy owns about 30% of the world's.
So it's like 200,000 Bitcoin.
Okay, 200,000. Yeah. And that's and United States supposedly they're not going to use our tax dollars to buy, but they're not going to print money and buy.
So they got, hold on, let me see something.
They just got that from that Silk Road incident, you know, from that dude, and they confiscated that, and that's what they built the Bitcoin reserve.
Come on, man. So we probing whether they're gonna pay off the national debt. For even Bitcoin to even be able to do that, one Bitcoin would have to be 3 million, bro.
Right, and that's in our lifetime, like you said. You're gonna see.
You're not about to see that. You said 1 million at first. That's 3 times of your biggest estimate.
I did say 1 million. That's correct. And I'm saying we're going to see that probably, I'm going to say 5 years.
Nah.
Bitcoin will be at 1 million in 5 years.
It could be. That's not the worst estimate for you to bank on. Like, there's a possibility of that, but
and that's
we're not even talking about 1 million. We talking about 3 million, and then we talking about you have to own 100% of it to be paying off a national debt with it. Let's just say that we've seen enough data to say that it's not close to probable that the U.S. government gonna pay off national debt with 200,000 Bitcoin.
But you don't need 200. You don't need all of the Bitcoin to pay off the national debt. Because what you end up doing is they'll create something called Bitcoin bonds. And then people will, because you own a lot, other countries will invest in those bonds, just like they invest in the United States government bonds.
Okay, I'm with that, but you expanding the concept. At first, we was just talking about them paying it off with Bitcoin. Now we're going to say Bitcoin bonds and all of the derivatives that come from Bitcoin. Yeah, you'll be getting close. They'll be getting closer to doing that.
Yeah. That was my whole premise of it does expand as Bitcoin grows. And retail hasn't even got into Bitcoin yet. They haven't even pumped all, they still on the sidelines saying, I don't know. And a lot of us are, I don't know. But I think to hedge this, it's not even really a hedge. It's almost a guarantee Bitcoin's going up. You're going to make money off of it. People think.
But not to know. I think we talked enough about that, and we've seen enough data to know whether that's probable or not.
But I think that I know the tariffs are hurting a lot of people, but I think 47 is, and if you didn't take it, if the chat and everybody, I know, we all grinding, and I'm not talking about anybody's cash flow, but you know that you buy low when the stocks dipped. I pray that everybody that on the sound of my voice, even though it's down now, put some money into some of these stocks, especially your big boy blue chip stocks. Buy a share. You want to get like 100 shares, but buy a share. Some of these stocks might be $200 and $500 and $600 with S&P. Buy a share. When it's dipped like this, you know it's going to go up, go back up. Whether it takes 3 years or 4 years, it's not fast money. But you got when it dips, when Bitcoin dips down to 78 and 7, you got to throw something in there. So then when it goes back to 109, made a little cash. But this is not your life savings. This is just some money that you spend, whether it's beer or smoke. What you just throw something in there, and then when it rise up, but you always buy on the dips. Buy when it goes super. When it's like, oh, the stock market crashed. When things are fearful, that's when the blood is in the streets. That's when it's time to eat. When things are fearful, that's when you buy. When the fear market is low, you get in there and you put a little money in some, stable, whether it's currency or whether it's stocks. Make stocks and mutual funds. Get in there low.
My whole thing is that he was put into not to go into no more wars, and now he's messing the whole economy up by start bombing Yemen, and all they ask for is the Israel stop bombing Gaza. So you mess up the market by not, doing just the natural thing. Don't bomb people who don't have an army or nothing like that. Right. So I just think that the economy would be better if people would be more peaceful.
Well, the thing about that is the world or the globe or economy, it's not peaceful. That's the reality. It's not a utopian world. And I agree, the bombing, the bloodshed is wrong. I think it's wrong. But when you're talking business, you got ships going through the canal and through by Egypt, and then you're being bombed. You got to protect you, and the whole.
But that raises the price though.
And you're affecting. Hold on, you're affecting the whole global market. Other countries can't get. They say, okay, I'm not going. It's affecting trade. You got to do something. So the United States says, okay, you Houthis, y'all want to keep, doing this.
No. You're getting it wrong though. The reason why they started doing that is because they was bombing Gaza. So you cannot say that the Houthis are wrong for defending people. I'm not saying you. I'm saying people who come up with that concept of the reason why the American military is out there attacking Yemen is because they started robbing the people on them seas. But the people in Yemen started doing that because they was bombing Gaza.
Okay, I'm not into the emotional things anymore, like the racism and the who's this and that. I'm about taking care of my family, take care of me, and I'm about getting that money. I mean, I understand the politics of what's going on in the world, and I'm like, yeah, I feel for that. It's just like y'all out. I mean, I don't want to be a hypocrite. It's poor people out here in society. I'm not going down there giving them all my money and saying, hey, pick yourself up. I can't save everybody. I know it's tough what they're going through. They got their own geopolitical things that's going on.
What is you saying right now? I don't get it.
What I'm saying is when it comes to the Palestinians, I understand what they're going through.
I don't even think I thought he said Yemen.
But Yemen is, the reason why he mentioned Yemen is because he's saying that Yemen is trying to get countries to stop, well, Israel primarily, and the United States to stop bombing the Palestinians. So that's why the Houthis and Hezbollah and Iran are, supporting this movement of them not being able to Palestinians live a peaceful life. I think they're trying to take over that land. I mean, this is genocide. I understand, but it's bigger than me. I can't stop it. I can't stop.
All right, but I just was saying, he had said they bombing Yemen because Yemen was supporting Palestine, and you started addressing the Palestinian plight. But I understand. I'm with you. I mean, I'm not. You good? So let me just answer this question. Someone said, "What you using that Thrustmaster to play?" Sometimes I'm a Jedi warrior on Star Wars, and then I'll switch to the other Star Wars games so I can do some fighting with the lightsaber. But I love flying through, and I also had some other flight games from Steam games, not Microsoft Flight Simulator, but some other flight games. So, all right, I just wanted to answer that question.
And to jump into that, now I know you do the football. I enjoy watching you get gassed on the football, but I wouldn't mind seeing some of those flight games and Star Wars. See what's going on with that because I'm not.
Oh, I just got to get another channel, maybe.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna take a break real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Y'all
right.
keep.
Yeah, we got to do something on gaming too. I got to get my gaming up because I think that would be another channel. That's good. I don't stream, but I do play 2K.
Oh yeah. I used to play it a lot. Then I stopped playing it. I've been trying to learn that UFC right now. I just got whooped online, but I almost won the fight though. Because
that's what I'm doing right now. UFC. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, you UFC 5?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I almost got whooped in my. I mean, I got whooped in my first online fight, but I could have won that fight. I just got to learn the online style. Like these people just think they're gonna pressure you and walk forward all the time. I got to start throwing them elbows and them knees, back their ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Smash. Let me ask you something. Have you heard about the resulting? You heard about the civil war in Sudan, right?
Yeah.
I was looking up something saying that apparently they looted all of the museums. Have you heard that?
I haven't been keeping up to date with that. Is that a credible report?
I think it was. I believe I saw it on some news channel on YouTube. It looked like a news channel, and they were saying, or I read it online, that they were saying that when they're looking into these museums that hold these Nubian treasures, everything is gone. And they don't know where it went. People just looted it. They just looted the museum. They showed it in ruin, and they just took everything and went with it. And they don't know where it gone.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. It wasn't a huge story, but I'm not 100% on how much and how.
Like everything.
Yeah, I'd have
everything. Like they took everything.
I'd have to do some more research on that, but I know I heard a little bit about there's some looting in the museums. But I wanted to, but if you're not finished with that, then go ahead. But I wanted to speak on Africa too, as far as what y'all thought about Burkina Faso and Traore. If y'all, been keeping up with that a little bit.
I haven't. Bring me up to speed.
Oh man. To really speak on it,
I know he did something about he said indigenous or all black people get a citizenship, and he's doing I know a couple of years ago he did a uranium deal with Russia, but I don't know anything current.
Yeah, I just hope the man stays safe. He came up through the ranks. He was a soldier. Now he's the president. It was kind of a coup. It's the younger generation of Africa starting to make moves around these different countries, and they're uniting. They're uniting. They're kicking out the oppressors or the colonizers a little bit, and they really making some major moves. I advise us to keep our eyes on what's going on the continent, because South Africa is doing some things. Things are happening in the Congo. Mali is doing some. Morocco's doing some things. And
speaking about South Africa, and that's another thing dumbass Trump is doing. he getting involved with them white people in South Africa. It's like he's doing everything that nobody asked him to do. And I think that's Elon Musk. And I think that they're gonna get Elon Musk out real soon because MAGA and Elon Musk is beefing right now.
Right. I think he's almost out. I think Elon is about to drop. It's a politics about a billionaire either drops Trump or Trump drops the billionaire. Who's using who? Trump would love to have him on his side.
No, Elon Musk used Trump. First of all, they use, I can't get his name out, Swami, the Indian dude. They kicked him out first, and now they trying to kick out Elon, but they got problems because he got that money and he got that them contracts, those SpaceX contracts. Remember, he got them people that was stuck in orbit for like 9 months. They was only supposed to be there for like a week or something like that. And that was got them out. I'm not. No. I'm saying that is a good thing, but when he do stuff like that, it's hard to get him out the government. That's what I'm saying. But his South African ties, I didn't know about, and he's no good for that. I mean, America should not be dealing anything with other countries. And
well, U.S. aid was a big when Trump ended U.S. aid. That was a big thing that affected South Africa. York, why don't you hit the chat, man? Come on in. Let's
But USA wasn't nothing but a CIA front. That's why it was absorbed into the Defense Department. If USA was something else, why didn't it be absorbed to the IRS or the Finance Department? Why would aid would be absorbed into a Defense Department? It's kind of weird to me.
Well, it's not really because whether you're giving aid is still a political. It's a tool, right? So they have a problem, and like you said, Elon Musk is from South Africa. So when you hear
no, get USA straight first. USA was always something that
I'm trying to, but you
because USA was something that they always knew since Kennedy. And so this is old news.
So understand.
Hey, I'm about to get up out of here. I gotta go to work. I'm about to play a game before I go to work, so I want to use my time right. I'll hit y'all up. Thanks for tapping in.
Hey.
Appreciate y'all. Yep, let me see. Yeah, I am definitely about to go get some work done in a minute, but ain't nobody hit me up yet, so I'm about to probably go just kick back on the couch and play some games. I guess I'm gonna start I guess I gotta bring my PlayStation up here so I can get back on